Hello, welcome to StoneMagpie. I'm hoping that you've got a cuppa and some stitching on the go as we share this video together. I've got lots of news, lots of update on stitching, and in fact my head has been buzzing since I was last with you at the end of January. So I have been stitching and we will go through the whips. I will show you 3 new starts and I've got an unboxing of sorts to share with you too. As we go along, my head's just buzzing with ideas. I've been waking up and wondering how I'm going to order this video really, because there's just such a lot I need to get in today. So make yourselves comfortable. Let's get a cup of tea on the go. I am in Yorkshire after all. Good old Yorkshire tea for me, builder style. So, first of all, I need to say that I have got all of my whips and things I need to show you on the table here, so I will be looking over to that as I go on in the video. So if you keep seeing me looking across, it's because my notes and all of the kits and things are all there. I am going to call this video Never Have I Ever, which is really a drinking game. So you can join in drinking if you want to. However, I'm going to refrain because, you know, I am on camera after all. I have made a chart called Never Have I Ever. And this is because after my last video, I was thinking about the way that I used to stitch a long time ago, 20 odd years ago. And it was always buy a kit, do it as the kit says, complete it, and then buy another kit and repeat. So the whole world of cross stitch has opened up to me and I just love everything about it. I think it's not as solitary as it used to be with all our wonderful social media. I am now watching FlossTube as I stitch and going onto Facebook and Instagram and really connecting with so many other people out there, and it's great. I absolutely love it. My Instagram name is StoneMagpie11 if you want to find me there, and on Facebook I do have a StoneMagpie Facebook page. I'm not that great at updating it, to be honest, but I am on quite a few groups and things like that on Facebook, so you may well spot me there, either by my name Suzanne or by my StoneMagpie page. So yes, on my last video I was talking about kits and things, and it really got my head buzzing about what I've never done before. Hence the chart that I've made, Never Have I Ever. So if you're joining in the drinking game, you may well need to tick some of these off too. I'll quickly run through what I have never ever done and I am intending to do at some point, sometime in my stitching. I'm hoping that's not bleeding out, that's better. So make an ornament. Honestly, I'm not that great at finishing. It's like when I knitted. I love knitting, but actually putting all of the pieces together wasn't really my bag, let's put it that way. Cushions, fine, I could cope with. So when I finished cross-stitch kits in the past, I used to take them to the framers and have them frame it properly for me, shall we say. I think it's quite complicated, isn't it, with all of the stretching and things like that. So I was watching Kayleen, CCL Stitching, and she did a lovely little cushion stitch and finished it so beautifully. And I thought, I really need to start doing things like that at some point when it's not a big kit. If it's a smaller stitch, and make it really pretty and gorgeous. If you've not seen Kayleen's channel, then I do recommend that you go over there. She's a new FlossTuber too, and she's amazing, really natural, and I'm really jealous of her craft room. I need to get my big sewing machine out as well, but at the moment I'm just using my portable hand stitcher to finish the edges of the aidas and things, but it's not working out very well. I am getting fraying and things like that, so I might have to tape the edges of some of mine, and I'll show you that as we go along in the video. Anyway, back to never have I ever. So make an ornament is one of the things that I need to tick off on this list. A dimensional stitch, where you're using different amounts of threads to create the dimension. A variety of stitches, I think that would be fun as well. Stitch along, that one may well be ticked off after this video, and I'll show you again later on. The dark fabric, a dyed fabric. Oh, and I'm so jealous of some of your fabrics out there. Honestly, they are beautiful. I don't know how you ever choose which fabrics to use, so I would really love to do a kit with a dyed fabric. So that's on the list. Linen, a long dog sampler, that would be really fun to do. A silhouette, where you have a background colour and then a darker figure, for example, that would be lovely. A full large stitch. All of the cross stitch I've ever completed have all been like a partial rather than an absolute full completion. A non-kit, meaning a pattern and you make up the kit yourself. Using even weave, not used an even weave before. Make a cushion. Stitch in grayscale, like a black and white type of design. More like a black and white photo rather than a long dog, for example, so that's the difference there. Make my own chart to stitch, that would be fun to have a go at. Use beads, I've never beaded in a cross stitch, so that would be fun for me to have a go. Doing a full tent stitch, meaning a full design in tent stitch. I've done tapestry, but in cross stitch it's got a very different finish, so I'd like to have a try at that one, see if I like it or not. Stitching 1 over 1, one thread over one square, as it were. Not ever done that before either. Doing a chatelaine, because they've got the variety of stitches in there and they look quite complicated but beautiful. So that's on the list. And a full finish, meaning a framing or something like that. Whether I want to have a go at doing my own framing, as I say, all the stretching and things sounds quite complicated, but I might be willing to have a go. We'll see. And I have got some blank squares because as I'm stitching and thinking and letting my mind wander, I'm bound to think of others. So that's my never have I ever. And I may well be able to tick some of these off as we go through the video. Time to get onto the updates of the whips that I've been working on. I always start with the 4 seasons. This one here, dream pattern on a 14 count white Aida. And the last time I showed you this at the end of January, I was here. I'll put a photo on screen for you to see where I was up to. And you can see I was doing the outline of the apple at the time. Moving down to, there was some sort of green blobs there too. And here is where I've got up to. Oh, and another thing I want to say, I'm still using Teresa Little Stitcher's free spreadsheet that she's got on her YouTube channel, and it's great. I can log what days I stitch on which project. Now I say days, but I'm not doing full days. I'm doing, I would probably say, more sessions rather than days. So on this one I've worked 4 sessions during February, and I'm also using an app that I use for my diamond painting called Gems Flow. And I've put the projects that I'm working on in there too, so that I can do a timer of how long each stitch is actually taking me. So when I say 4 sessions, you may be able to see how much time I'm taking up on each session. So with this stitch though, I did start it quite a while ago. So when I give you the times I've worked on, it's really from this point here, because I had the bird in just before January, I think it was, if I remember rightly. I've done quite a bit, haven't I? And it's such an easy stitch. This is one that I pick up on an evening and stitch on my knee watching telly after tea and things. And the colours are just so joyful. And it's not difficult counting this one. I can keep up and watch the telly at the same time. So yeah, it's such a pleasure, and the motifs are so gorgeous. So this one I have spent since January 15 hours and 47 minutes. So on this portion here, I won't be able to split it into February hours because it'll take too much calculating. So I'm just going to give you the overall time for each piece. So since January, 15 hours 47 minutes to complete this section here. And just look what we've got. Here is the apple, but now we've got it fully completed with the seed in the middle, and if you look closely, a cheeky little worm popping out. Who's been eating my apple? Also last time we had the white background where the bee was going to sit, and now the beautiful cute little bee is sat in place around his honeycomb, which still needs a little bit of filling in there with that yellow. I quite like that effect though. I might leave some of that honeycomb unfinished. We'll see as I go on. And working down with these beautiful spring greens here, and these 3 trees, which last time just looked like a little green blob in each place. And it looks like, to me, like one of those perfectly mowed lawns with the lines in it. Not like mine at all. Mine's more moss and mud. Especially nowadays. Do you know how much rain we've had in Yorkshire? Well, since Christmas, since before Christmas. Honestly, my garden's a mud patch. Oh, need it to be spring, and the snowdrops have come up in the garden, and it's so lovely to see those first signs of spring. And my magnolia tree in the front garden has got really tight buds on, so I'm hoping that gives a really impressive display in May. Fingers crossed. Anyway, back to the stitching. So we've got this lovely cloud, we've got the bird with its what would you call those? The speed lines, showing how fast that bird is flying across the sky. We've got the strawberry and the apple, and I think they could be fields because each field has got something different growing in it. So I'm heading across this way. So I'll be, oh, should I head down? Because this is the spring section here, whereas we'll be going into, what would we be going into? It's not spring, it's summer. This is the summer section. This is the spring section. So we'll call these summer greens, it's fine. Shh. I know my seasons, I know what order they go in, I promise. Summer, 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 summer greens with the apple and the fields full of their harvest and the bees buzzing about. We'll have to wait for spring. So I may well go across because it's coming into spring. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough about that. So that is the first whip. Oh, I think I've gone red. Am I blushing? Oh dear. Right. The second... I am silly. Honestly, if you've followed my channel for a while, you'll know I'm a little bit silly. Dear. Right, I'll compose myself for the second whip, which is Dandelion. And this I got from Ami Shop, but I bought it on Shane, but it is an Ami Shop kit. And it is so pretty, and I have to say this one has really taken me by surprise. When I last showed you this at the end of January, it looked like this. So really a green blob on a half plate, really. Bit of a cream background. And I said that I couldn't see the dandelion at all, so I don't know why it's called Dandelion. Somebody did suggest that perhaps this is the dandelion here, but I'm not sure if it is. And when I show you where I'm up to, you'll see why I don't think it is, but I might be wrong. Sorry, just dropped my glasses on the floor. There we go. Right, and it's on this beautiful red iada here. There we are. Now, can you see that? It's really taken me by surprise because it's using different amounts of thread to create dimension. And where you can see the green bits, do you know, I need one of those fancy boards that I've seen people have. I need to get something. Here, and the purple pink bits here are blended threads, and they are also dimensional. So I think it was 3 or 4 threads in those stitches. So I'm hoping it shows okay on camera, that you can pick that out and see the difference, because I was so surprised. I thought this was just going to be a little flat stitch with a bit of back stitching, and I love it. I really enjoy working on this one. And I think the green blob in the middle, Mr. Grasshopper, is really going to come out on his own when I get the back stitching done on him. But I'm going to stitch it all and then do the back stitching, because it does go across all of the stitching. But he's just going to really stop looking like a bit of a snot smear in the middle of a plate. He's going to look fantastic when he's finished, I'm sure. So yes, I'm really enjoying stitching on this one. Now let me see my stats. Yeah, I only did 2 sessions on him during February, and altogether from the start I have done 11 hours and 56 minutes. So that gives you an idea of how long this stitch is taking. So yeah, that's whip 2, really pleased with that. And now I've got 3 new starts to show you. Okay. Do you remember, it's only 2 videos ago, only 2 videos ago, I was saying, oh, I'm only going to have 3 whips on at a go and all of this. Ah, so I am a liar. I have been proved wrong, because I've got already more than 3 and lots of ideas in my head. Anyway, I've just been caught up in all the excitement. What can I say? Right, so whip 3 I've got in a very old pillowcase. And no, I haven't got some sort of dark boudoir at home. This pillowcase is a very old one from when my son was in his dark stage of teenage and wanted his room all black. Anyway, so it's his whole bedding. And I thought that's perfect for a cover for this kit, because I'm going to keep it on its frame. Here we go. It's a Lucas S frame, and it's a Luca S kit. Here we are. Oh, you can see through, can't you? I really need to get a board. Oh, anyway, if I hold it, how can I hold it? There, I'll stand up and try and hold it in front of my tummy. There we go. So this is the new start that I've made. There is a little bit of a story to this one. As you can see, I have loosened off the fabric because when I'm not working on it, I don't want it to be stretched. Oh, I'm so sorry about the lighting on this. That's probably better, isn't it? Look how those pinks pop off this black Aida. It's fabulous, isn't it? Okay, I'll show you the picture and I'll tell you my experience so far. So here is what it's going to look like. Wow, it's just beautiful, isn't it? Just so glorious, really is. And it's stitched on a, where's my glasses? What is it stitched on? A 16 count Aida. 16, I thought it might have been an 18. No, I think it's a 16 count black Aida, this stitch. Oh, I'm going to move that cup. I very nearly knocked my cup of tea everywhere then. And yes, so the story of this goes that I started in the middle, as I always do. Oh, I've thought of something to add to my list that I didn't put on. Where's my never have I ever? I need to add on started at an edge. I have always started in the middle. So I've now added started on an edge to my never have I ever. So this, you can see here on the back, I've got like a yellow odd thread, and that's to show me where the middle is. I probably don't need it on as much now. And what I found was that I was really struggling to see where I was with this pattern because there's so many pinks in that bit. And I wasn't colouring the chart as I went on because I want to keep my chart nice. I did have a look for Pattern Keeper and thought this is the kit that I need to get online on my iPad to chart my progress on because it is so difficult to keep track. But what I found is that Pattern Keeper isn't supported with iPad, so I couldn't have it. So what I did, I took a photocopy of the chart and I am colouring it as I go. However, I did at one point put the wrong colour in. So along here, it looked like there was a whole row of very, very, very pale pink. And I didn't realise that I'd stitched the wrong colour until I did this beautiful, vivid, reddy coral colour. And I thought, well, that doesn't look right. So I looked again and I realised what I'd done. I decided on a colour and I was in between which colour to go with. So I chose a colour and then I thought I'd chosen the other colour, if that makes sense. It probably does. I'm sure you'll have done the same. So I stitched all of the wrong symbol with the wrong colour. Anyway, I unpicked it all, nearly sobbed, but I unpicked it all and I put in the correct colour and what a difference. Immediately made such a beautiful difference. So if you know of some sort of app that I could get on my iPad as a Pattern Keeper type app, would you please let me know, because I'd quite like to do that and it would be nice to be able to see my progress. You know, with Pattern Keeper I think it gives you percentages, which would be really fun to know. So yes, this is my new start and I have to say the black fabric on an evening is not working for me. It's really quite tricky. So this is more my weekend stitch or if it's really sunny outside. And as I've already said, it's not been that sunny for quite a while here in Yorkshire. So it might be a bit of a longer time stitch this one. So far I have stitched, I've put 2 sessions, it might have been 3. I'll have to go back to my spreadsheet and double check. And the hours I've spent on it, 4 hours, 49 minutes. 4 hours, 49 minutes. There. So I think it's a good start, isn't it? Oh, sorry, just get my pillowcase and pop it back in. Oh, and it's a dark fabric, of course, black. Don't think you can get any darker. So I can tick, never have I ever. I have now started work on a dark fabric. Dark fabric, tick. Oh, and yes, I do my ticks backwards. I am left-handed and I get comments all the time, you do your ticks the wrong way round. Yes, I do. I think it's just something to do with the left-hand side brain. I'm not sure. I really have to concentrate if I have to do a tick the proper way round. Okay, so that was new start number 1. New start number 2. Here she is, the Libra Lady Kit. The pattern I got on Etsy from PUNTAGOPETITEPATTERN. I can't read that. PUNTAGOPETITEPATTERN Etsy.com. So there we go, on Etsy. PUNTAGOPETITE, and this is the one that I bought some cream Aida for, and I am using those not DMC threads, the ones I got from Amazon that I got 450 colours. So that's what I'm using on this kit. And here is my new start. I'm quite pleased with that. There are so many greys in that little bit of stitching, I have to tell you. There are so many, and it's really giving a lovely effect to her hair, isn't it? I started in the middle, in the centre, and I'm just following. So I'm not sticking to a page, I'm going across pages to stitch this one so that we've got the flow. And when I got to those pale silver greys, oh, so much fun, and really uplifted it. And you can see the different directions that her hair is going in. So we've got the flow at the back, we've got the side burn, we've got her fringe towards the front, and it goes up into like a bun. And the joy of picking out that little bit of pink there, I hope you can see that too. Just a teeny little flash of pink. It was just like, ah, colour. Brilliant. So on the chart again, there's the flow of her hair, her sideburn, her fringe, and then it goes up to this bun here. So I'll finish her hair, and then I think I'm going to work upwards because I want to be able to perhaps go up and then down to the bottom. I think that might be the best way to do this one. We'll see. I might change my mind, remember. So this is on a 16 count cream Aida that I found on eBay. I have stitched with my hand little stitching machine that I got off Amazon as well. You know, one of those battery operated ones that just do a running stitch. And as you can see on the edges, can you pick that out? They are fraying a little bit. So the bottom is probably the easiest place to show you here. So I think I'm going to, I'll either have to dig my sewing machine out, and it's a long time since I used my big sewing machine, or I might just tape it. I've got some washi tapes I could try. I've got quite a good selection of those, so we'll see. but I definitely need to do something about that fraying. So how many? I think this is one of the biggest stitches for this month. I did 4 sessions, and so far she's taken me 11 hours 47 minutes of joy. It's just joyful to work on this one. So yeah, quite a hard count, this one. I have to really concentrate. So although I'll have FlossTube or the telly on, sometimes I have to rewind if I've missed a bit, because I have to go into concentration mode. So that's that one. So that was new start number 2. My third new start, and to be honest, I blame FlossTube for this one, because I have watched so many brilliant people. Honestly, you're all fabulous out there. All you creators that are doing FlossTube are fabulous. And I was watching quite a few American FlossTubers who were doing samplers, and a lot of them had those little houses on, you know, with the like barn type and the people and the Quaker style, and oh, I just thought I've got to do one of those. In fact, never have I ever, what can I call those though? I'm going to put, never have I ever stitched a Quaker sampler. Should I pop that? A Quaker sampler. Because they're so adorable, aren't they? They're so adorable. So I've added that, a Quaker sampler. And during those videos where they were showing their updates and things, they talked about the Nashville market, which I've never heard of before. So nearly every FlossTube I watched that day mentioned this Nashville market and all of the different patterns that were coming out. And then, hello from Liz Matthews. Oh, have you seen the house stitch that she's bringing out? It might be called Spring House. I'm not sure, but it's a house with a greenhouse at the end of, joined on to the house. And it's got plants in it, and there's rain coming down, and she's used 2 different fabrics to create the stitch, which is something I've never done before. Oh my goodness, never have I ever used 2 different fabrics. See, I knew there'd been more to add to this list. I'm glad I left some blank grids. There we are. So I think I need to get that pattern, basically. It's so beautiful. It's like a blue behind the house and greenhouse, and then it's a creamier field with crops and things like that, and then a little picket fence at the bottom. It's absolutely adorable. Hello from Liz Matthews. Yeah, you've probably seen it. So yeah, I was having a look around all of the UK websites that I could find, and I couldn't see anybody that I could pre-order that one from. There was a website, and I can't remember the name of it. I should have written it down. And they had some patterns, but the ones I liked were all sold out. So I'm hoping that they might get that one in, and I probably will contact them about it. So whilst I was doing all of my research, because I did see, by the way, the Hello Liz Matthews Etsy shop where you could have PDF, but I really want an official one. I want one of those pretty ones that everyone holds up and has the proper photo and things. So yes, I've got my eyes open for that. And whilst I was having a look around, I came across the Historical Sampler Company and really liked their website, liked their patterns, more Scandi style samplers, and lo and behold, I think I hit on it just at the right time, because they were starting a stitch along, and I have never done a stitch along before until now. So this was starting on the 19th of February, and it must have been a couple of weeks before that. It was probably the beginning, it might have been the 8th of February, somewhere around there, that I came across this site. Just perfect timing, meant to be, you know. So I grabbed one of the kits. So this is the envelope that came with. The stitch along is called All Things Grow with Love. Lovely. And it's got one of these. Reminds me of when I used to work at ICI in the 80s, early 90s, and we used to send each other internal post with those on. Kind of reminded me of that a bit. This is what I'll show you about the fraying. Oh, make sure I don't get the chart out. So we've had the first part of the chart was released on the 19th of February. There is still time to join if you want to. There are still kits available, and they are in a choice of 16 count Aida or the 32 count linen, which is the version that I opted for. The next chart comes out on the 4th of March, and it is going to be in 4. So there's 4 different strips of chart, if that makes sense, to make the whole design. So 4 different episodes. Let's put it like that. I hope you know what I mean. I'm all about terminology. So I can't show you what the finished design will look like, but I can show you my start. Oh, it's so pretty. And I do have a confession on this one as well, I have to say. There we go. I'll have to put, I'll turn that round so you can't see the lettering behind, because it is a linen, so it is quite see-through. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful to stitch on this fabric. I love it. As I say, never done linen before, but I'll be able to tick it off my list in a moment. So here is my start, and as I say, it comes out in like 4 strips. So the design goes all the way along here. I do need to keep up. I think I'm falling behind a little bit. I have been onto that Facebook site and people are way ahead of me. But it's fine, it's fine. I'm not going to stress myself out about it, because if I don't finish in time, then so be it. So, like I say, there's still time for you to start it if you want to. But look how pretty, and look at that cute, cute, cute little buzzy bee that's appeared. And I do know that there's going to be a butterfly here, and there are going to be 2 birds here. And then I think this bit repeats over here. And I do like symmetry. I really do like symmetry. And it's a really easy border. Just lots of single crosses along. Now, my confession. I have never started away from the centre before. Because so normally I would start here, where the centre point is. And so I measured the corner. I measured the corner down and I measured across, and I started stitching. And I don't know if I measured wrong, because the instructions did say how big the project was going to be. But when I took it out of the frame, bearing in mind I'm stitching it on quite a small Q-snap, so I can't see the full thing all at once. And I don't know if you can even see, but it ended up starting here. So it went down from this point down to about here. And when I took it out of the frame, I thought, I've completely got that wrong. It's really not centred. Does it matter? Was my first thought. Does it matter if it's not centred? But yeah, it did. I slept on it and I thought, do I leave it? Do I leave it? In the end, the next day, I decided to unpick that bit and find the centre point, hence this grey stitch here, which is just a random thread to find that centre. I should have done this first, really. I should have found that centre point and then stitched out from there, but I didn't. And I learned. So I unpicked that stitch and unpicked that stitch and re-centred it, basically. And I'm much, much, much happier with it, and I'm glad that I did it. And again, I have used my portable stitcher to do that running stitch down the side, but I'm getting a lot of fraying and it's catching in my stitch as I'm stitching. So again, I think I'm going to have to tape it. Everybody on Facebook was so kind. One particular lady, sorry, I can't remember your name, said if I lived nearer, I would do it for you. So kind, just so kind. So thank you. And yeah, you're lucky I didn't come and knock on your door. But there we are. So I'm really, really, really pleased that I'm doing a stitch along for the first time. I'm working on linen for the first time, and it's a bit like a mystery project, which is so much fun. And the colours are just spring-like, aren't they? Just such joyful colours in this one. Really, really lovely. Oh, how long? So how many? Let me see my... So I've put 2 sessions. I can't remember if I counted one of those sessions as part of the put it right. I think I didn't count it. I think I was trying to cheat. So it was probably 3 sessions where I did that, the first framing on the first evening, then I corrected it on the second evening, and then on the third evening I put this detail in. I think that's probably what I did. So I'm going to say 3 sessions, not 2. And I am taking pictures of my progress and uploading those onto the Facebook website as well. The Historical Sampler Company Facebook page. That's where I'm doing that. And the total stitch so far is 4 hours 22. Just look at the colours. This colour here. Ta-da! I've got a jumper in that colour, and I think I'm going to dig it out and wear it very soon. It's so beautiful. Gorgeous. Right. So that's new start number 3. All those times ago, I'm only going to do 3 whips. Okay, now I've got a couple of updates of where I am with certain kits that I showed last time, which are not started yet. One of which is my Zodiac Circle, which I got the pattern as a PDF from... Oh, that's not nice, is it? I think that's where I spilt my tea. Ignore. In fact, I'm going to put a photo on screen because this printout doesn't do it justice anyway, and it's a beautiful design, and it's from Vivian at VIVSTERS on Etsy, and it is fabulous. I absolutely love it. I talked about it last time about how we could perhaps personalise this one, and I have been umming and ahhing about what colour fabric to get for this one. So I have decided to go for, here's the pack, silver grey. I'm excited, so excited. So I have gone for a silver grey 20 count Aida. It's a Zygarde Aida. Now, when you look at my pathetic printout, you think, gosh, that looks little. That looks like it would be a quick stitch. Here is my 20 count fabric. Ta-da! It's quite big. I'll stand back, see if I can get it all on. It is a square design, but I couldn't find a square. Oh gosh, I can't even fit it on. And I can't go any further back, otherwise I'll be in the garden. So there we are. I think you can get the impression of how big this one is going to be. Woo! Now, Vivian didn't include the measurements for a 20 count, but the 22 count was 55 centimetres by 55, and the 18 count was 67 centimetres, by 67. So I think it's going to sit somewhere in between. So that's the, oh no, I've just put it in my tea. Ugh. That's not a good start. Remind me never, ever, ever to have tea on the table again. Oh, do you know, I think it's right in the blooming middle as well. Look. Oh. Right, I'll leave that out to dry a bit, and hopefully, well, I might have to tea stain it. I might have to tea stain the whole lot if that becomes... Oh dear, right. Because I do drink strong tea as well. It's not like it's a weakling. I'm cross with myself, can you tell? Anyway, so let's bypass that. And yeah, so the reason I haven't made a start on this one is, one, because I've had 3 new starts already, but 2 is because I have ordered some threads. I have decided to do a DMC stitch, the threads from DMC on this one. It is a large one and I want to make sure that it's beautiful. Whereas my Libra lady, if we go back to her, I think she's fine, you know. I'm quite happy with the threads. They don't fluff or anything like that, and yeah, I'm happy with them. However, you only get one colour, one skein per colour in that pack of 450, and this stitch takes, some of them have like 15 skeins needed, so I've ordered them from the lovely Claire at Threads For You, and we're waiting for one particular colour to come into stock. And do you know, Claire has been amazing. She's kept me informed at all times. We've had texts. She even called me one day to explain about this particular colour and gave me options of what I would prefer to do, whether I wanted to have a mixed dye batch or wait for one complete dye lot, which I've decided to do because I'm just a bit nervous about, because it's such a big stitch, whether if I had different dye lots, whether it would show, and I don't want to risk it, so I'm waiting for the threads to arrive from Threads For You. So have a look at that website. They are really well priced in the UK, so I'm happy about that. That might be a new start next month or the month after, depending on how I'm getting on with everything else. Another update to give you is on this design that I also got on Etsy, the Libra by CANDLEMOONCRAFTS, which is this cloudy type of Libra scales. And I can't remember if I showed you the fabric last time and talked about it. So I've gone with a navy Aida for this one so that I don't have to do all of that background stitching. Don't know about the thread yet. What I'm thinking on this one is that I'll wait for my Libra lady to be finished and see how much I've got left of that to know if I can also stitch this one in those threads as well. So that's my plan. So we're probably not going to get any more updates on this one for quite a while. Right. Now, next, I wanted to show you a kit that was a gift. My husband bought me this gift for Christmas, I didn't get it in time for Christmas, but I've got it now. And it was as if this was meant to happen as well. And I really do believe in the universe makes things happen and things happen for a reason and all of that. I really am a firm believer in it. And this is one of those. So I was looking on eBay way before thinking about having a FlossTube channel. And I came across this design. Now I have done an Anne Stokes design in diamond painting quite recently and I just loved it. So I saw this on eBay. Oh, she's amazing. Let me take out, excuse the rustling a moment. I'll just show you this. This is from Thread Geeks. Look at all of that beautiful thread. Lots of browns in this one. We are getting a bit of glare, but I'll undo the pack. Oh, so exciting, isn't it? Oh, okay. It's a booklet, look. It's like a binder with all of the pattern in. All these pages of pattern. There we are. And it is a licensed kit, this one. From, what was it again? Thread Geeks on eBay. It's an Anne Stokes design. And look, it's got a dragon. And of course, we're in the Chinese year of the dragon, so this is going to be a stitch that I start sometime this year. There's nothing like specifics, is there? But it is a big one. Let me get my glasses on again. Finished design measures 180 by 360, 10 by 20 on 18 count. So it's an 18 count Aida in white. And I'm keeping it in the packet so I don't get any tea stains on it. Oh, and this one, look, is all fully finished already down those edges. Beautiful. So that's good news. But look at the design. Look, I just love it. We've got all of that woodwork around the top there. She's sitting on a wooden throne with the dragon edges and all of that carving. She's looking down at the dragon curled up on her knee, and then she's got her flowing gown underneath and then the wood edging at the bottom there. So this stitch is just going to be full of detail, and that curled up dragon just reminds me of my little doggy when he curls up on my knee. Oh, if only I looked that beautiful. If only I had a throne to sit on. Anyway, the colours, let's have a quick look at those. They are gorgeous. Ooh, there's quite a lot of blacks and very dark browns. But look how tonal these are. Do you know, this would be a fantastic autumn kit, wouldn't it? With all of those autumn colours. They are fabulous. I don't know how many colours there are in this kit, and they're all wound, but it looks like quite a lot of colours. It's quite an undertaking, this one, isn't it? It's going to take me years to stitch this one. Be prepared. But I was watching, I don't know how to pronounce her channel name, but she did actually talk about it not mattering how you pronounce Higgy Stitch. So she has forgiven me if I've pronounced it wrongly, but Hygge Stitch, Hygge, Hygge Stitcher. She has had a video out about doing a dragon stitch along, and she very kindly said you can work on any dragon and it doesn't have to be started at straight away, it can be started any point throughout the year. So I thought, oh, that's great, because I've got this dragon kit. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to start it. You watch, I bet I've started it by next month. I can't, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. It's so beautiful though, isn't it? So beautiful. Anyway, so she has got a dragon stitch along on the go. So if you've got a dragon kit or you want to get one, then have a look at Hygge Stitcher FlossTube. I think that's going to be amazing. And isn't it finished well with this binder? It feels very nice, very nice. So thank you, Threads Geek, for that kit. She has put a little thank you card in. So Thread Geeks Cross Stitch, thank you for your order. Thank you for supporting my small business. It means the world to me. So, oh, she's got some socials actually. Let's show you those as well. Then you can see if you want to get in touch, look at her kits and things, you know where to go to. So that's that one. Oh, so many things. So many beautiful things. Spoiled, absolutely spoiled. Now I'm going to update my Never Have I Ever. So dark fabric tick. I haven't made an ornament dimensional stitch. I think we can tick that for my, let's do it with the other end, my dandelion grasshopper. No, not a variety. Stitch along, we can tick because of the historical sampler company and my dragon when I start it. No dyed fabric linen, again, historical sampler company. And non-kit, now I can tick that, can't I? Because I've got my Etsy patterns. And I think that might be, yeah, that's where I am up to on my Never Have I Ever. That's such fun. That really is such fun. I think I have mentioned everything I want to mention today. I think I have, but knowing me, when I turn off the video, I'll be like, oh, I didn't mention this, and oh, I didn't mention that. I'll have to wait till next time. So I hope you enjoy your own stitching, and I hope that you do join me next time for my next FlossTube, where I'll update you at the end of March on everything that's happened throughout the month. Take care, everyone. Bye.